It's nothing short of madness and stupidity. A businessman from Denmark and his family go on holiday. They return from their vacation to find upwards of 40 asylum seekers living in their property. When confronted, the asylum seekers tell the businessman and his family that they have to leave. That's what we'll be discussing today on the podcast. Okay, free thinkers, we're going to jump straight into it. But before we start, if you could hit this channel with a subscribe and hit the notification bell, it really helps me out. If you could like the video and leave a comment, that would be great as well. Thank you, let's go.
De eigenaar heeft aangifte gedaan en is ook al 2 keer langs geweest om met de krakers te praten. Hij heeft zijn pand namelijk nodig.
So this is the businessman here. He owns this property. He returned from his vacation to find his business place ransacked. What he's pointing at here is some things that were inside his property which have now been thrown out and completely trashed.
Dit is toch te gek voor woorden? Ja. Hier komt alleen maar ratten en muizen op af.
Dan wil hij het ons van binnen laten zien.
Ja, met geweld zijn ze naar binnen gekomen. Kijk. Sorry. Kijk, dit kan niet. Please, kan niet, man. Kan niet, man. Luister. Vriend, stop it. It's not gone. We don't need it.
We don't need it, say the people who are living here on benefits, people who are living here entirely on the grace of the Danish people, and he is saying that he doesn't need it. He does not need a camera in his face. There is absolutely no consideration given to the businessman. There's no consideration given to his family. There's no consideration given to the host nation. There's no consideration given to the taxpayers that are funding you. There's no respect given to the host people.
It's your pond. Sorry, can you go out, please? Can you go?
You see, it's all right for them to say, can you go out of your own property, but it's not all right for you to ask them to leave your property.
I call the police for you, please. Call the police. Can you go out, please? Call the police.
The police have already
Go out from this building,
You have to come from the police.
What?
You have
Go
to
out.
What is?
What you say?
You have to come from my building.
Go out from my building.
But please respect each other.
Please respect each other. He's asking for respect. Now, I think that guy there is the Danish guy who is with the business owner, his friend, I should imagine. Please respect each other, though. I mean, how much respect are you supposed to have when you return from a vacation to find that your business place has been ransacked and taken over?
So before you come here, you have to call the police too. We are going by the rules. You have to go.
They're going by the rules. People who entered the country illegally, refused to seek refuge that they did not actually need in the first safe country they arrived in, which is the international law. You have to do that. They refused to do that. These people are claiming asylum even though they come from a sub-Saharan African country, which, albeit is very poor, I am not denying it is anything other than poor. However, the country itself is not in war. These people are not Syrians. These people are claiming to be Syrians. Europe is suffering from a severe case of cognitive dissonance.
People are here, man. We know it's your place. That's why we give you respect. But
we know it's your place. That's why we give you respect. But we're kicking you out.
you want you to understand us too.
I don't understand you.
You'll find that's a common thing they do. They'll say, we want you to understand us. It's mutual understanding, but they always somehow come out on top. It's mutual understanding, mutual respect, but we have to win. That's their reasoning behind it, is let's give each other respect, but I always win.
don't understand me. This is my building and I need this. I need my place.
Voordat het echt uit de hand loopt en nog voordat de politie arriveert, druipt de eigenaar dan maar af.
We have the right to squat. Konden onze eigen pand.
You have the right to squat. He has the right to live in his own house. He has the right to work in his own place of business. It's always about you and what you want. What about other people?
Niet één, hè?
Hoe is dat?
Ja, het is een heel naar gevoel. Ja, ik heb er helemaal geen woorden voor. Ik kan die mensen enigszins begrijpen, maar ja, zij begrijpen mij waarschijnlijk helemaal niet.
Ik sta echt perplex, hè?
Ja, ongelooflijk dat dit in zo'n land kan.
De Amsterdammer had zijn pand eerst verhuurd, naar later bleek aan iemand die er een wietplant.
Now, as you can see, the police have refused to do nothing. There's nothing they can do. As they say, these people, they have the right to squat. There are all these very dodgy laws, very sneaky, very snidey loopholes in laws that I'm afraid to say people take advantage of. But the only people who do take advantage of these laws and of these loopholes are people whose intention is to fully take advantage of the laws and the loopholes. They're the masters of these laws. How many times have you seen European-born homeless people who take advantage of these laws? You don't see it because they don't know they exist. They haven't been taught that these rules exist.
In had. Na de ontruiming liet hij het opknappen zodat hij zijn eigen autozaak kon gaan runnen.
Toen is er een aannemer binnengegaan die alles een beetje voor mij opgeknapt heeft. En die was nog bezig.
Okay, free thinkers, that video was undoubtedly pretty hard to watch. Quite annoying, quite infuriating. I feel sorry for the man. I can understand where he comes from. It seems like everything is weighted in favour of those who do wrong and against those who do right. This isn't the first time this has happened. It's happened a number of times. We are now going to look at a very similar, but albeit in my opinion worse incident that happened in Italy in 2016, where a hotel owner actually ended up having his hotel that he owned confiscated from him by the then left-wing government. This is before Salvini's rise to dominance in Italy, and fair play to him, I will add. I'm a big supporter of Salvini. And we will take a look at that video. Right now, I recommend if you have high blood pressure to take your medication now, because watching this will send your blood pressure through the roof. Okay, so this is the hotel in Italy. This is the then left-wing socialist government of the time in 2016. They have come to forcibly take away this man's private property to house failed asylum seekers.
Oh, ma siete impazziti? Ma io vi denuncio tutti quanti,
Quando l'avete?
Ma cosa fate?
This man's paid tax his entire life. He's been a good citizen his entire life. Now look on your screen now. Look at this senior citizen. Look at the humiliation that is being heaped on this man. It just really just let's watch it. Let's get on with it.
Se me lo fate andare all'ospedale.
Non sto facendo niente. Voi
No.
mi fate andare all'ospedale, ma le pagate tutte. No!
And to the right of your screen, you've got this hard case here with the sunglasses on, staring down an old man. He's a real tough guy. He's real hard case. He needs all these men to evict a small little old man like that. It's disgusting. Disgusting.
Non entrate, non vengono dentro. No, lei non tocchi la mia roba. Lei non tocchi la mia roba. Vuoi andare a vedere anche il mio appartamento?
You see, and people wonder why Salvini was elected. You can't keep doing this to the European people, the people of Western countries, and expect people to just roll over like the left does. There's bound to be people who are upset by this. Here they come. Here they come. With their shiny new bags and taxpayer gifts. Disgusting.
Non ci sono le chiavi. Non ci sono le chiavi.
And can I just say that as of the failed asylum seekers, they must be laughing their heads off about this guy. They must be... You got to think, they come from war-torn countries, and I appreciate it's war-torn, and I appreciate that life was hard in their home country, but that doesn't mean you have the right to come and make other people's lives hard in another country. It does not give you the right to do that. They must look at Europeans and think we are the biggest idiots they have ever met in their entire life.
No, deve stare chiuso, tutto deve stare chiuso. È stato qui il 72. Il cosa risolvo? Che state lì con...
What do you get from all of this? It's his property. I tell you what, we'll come to the policeman's property and we'll take his away from him. Why doesn't he lead the way? If he's so enthusiastic about this, show us the way. Why is it all... It's always the people on the right that lose their properties. It's always the people on the left who fully support the loss of the properties. Well, I think you should practice what you preach. Show us the way. Hand over your property for once. Let's show us how it's done. We obviously need you to enlighten us.
Ma cosa prendi anche il caffè così stai ancora peggio? Papà? Prendi anche il caffè?
Allora, signor Monfort, una cortesia, ci dà per favore le chiavi? No. Se no, allora noi le facciamo aprire e le spese tornano su carico. No, sono...
He's asked, as you can see by the subtitles below, the policeman's asked, or he's demanded the keys. The business owners refused to give them. The policeman has then said they will bust open the doors, replace them, and have him pay for them. Disgusting behaviour. This is the police. This is what happens when you vote socialist. And I'm sorry, but the older Italians, not this man in general, but people who have had the ability to vote for at least a generation, or maybe even at least a decade, you voted them in. You voted them in. These people. And this, it just goes to show you how quickly a culture can change. Because 10 years ago, 20 years ago, those police officers would not have behaved like that. This is a relatively new thing. In Germany, not too long ago, you had police officers chasing German women around in town, asking them, this is the German women who had braided hair. They say, why have you got braided hair? Are you right wing? They were made to feel guilty about possibly being right wing. There was no definite... They didn't know that they were right wing. They were demanding to know if they were. Because apparently, for some stupid reason, those on the left think that if you have braided hair, you are automatically a Nazi. What they, of course, are overlooking is the fact that little Miss Greta Thunberg has braided hair. But that's okay because she's an eco-warrior. Well, if this hasn't demonstrated to you that there's a serious problem in Western society, Western culture and Western civilization, particularly in the European Union, which is controlled entirely by socialists and Marxists, then I'm afraid nothing will. These two instances were not the only times that this type of thing has happened. It happens day in, day out across the European Union, and it seems like the righteous are powerless to stop them or do anything about it. But then again, whose fault is that really? Who votes these people in? You do. We do.